Hello, friends.
Hello, everyone.
Hope everybody's doing
Hey.
great. As promised, we've got another stream today. We have had a bit of a weird one yesterday. You can check that out after this if you want. But for today, we're gonna have another look at Chicken Police, which is gonna be released very soon, next week on Thursday, the 5th of November. And yeah, we're here with the devs from Hungary. Guys, why don't you introduce yourselves? You can see them. Oh, wrong finger, wrong hand. Here in the middle. And yeah,
Hi,
Hey,
tell us a little bit about yourselves before we start.
I'm Bank, the writer, director, and designer of Chicken Police.
hi, I'm Peter. I'm the lead programmer of Chicken Police.
Awesome. Great.
Nice
Thank
to
you.
have you here.
Nice to have you, and thank you for your time already.
Nice to be
here.
You know, it's Friday afternoon. Everybody's excited to go into the weekend, I know, but
Yeah.
you know, the people want to see what's up. And yeah, I say, let's show them. And, you know, we'll mostly be playing the game a little bit in the background. You know, we've had streams before that focused on the gameplay mainly, but we want to talk a little bit about what's going on. And just for a little bit of background information, this is a new game that we started.
Yeah.
This is the very beginning of the game, and Sonny, our main character, Sonny Featherland, got a mysterious visitor in his office. So, you know, that's just background information. Now, my first question to you guys would be, which idea came first, or which plan came first? Did you want to make a crime adventure first, or did you want to make a game about chickens first?
Good question. I think a little bit both, because it was almost 10 years ago when I saw a video on YouTube, actually, where two real-life chickens break a fight between some very serious bunnies. And for some strange reason, it burned to my mind. And I'm also a huge fan of the classic film noir movies and hard-boiled detective fictions. So I think in my brain, these two things just collided and mixed. And suddenly the idea of Chicken Police and the city of Glowville begin to take shape. So I think both the chicken thing and the noir mystery solving detective gameplay just shape together. And actually, first I just wanted to make a graphic novel about the idea. But years later, it became clear that it had to make as a video game.
Yeah, I think it works very well.
does.
So yeah, to clear up any confusion that some people might have that don't know the game yet, it is at its core a very noir-esque, a very dark story, and a very deep story too, and a crime that you'll have to solve. So it's in that sense a very classic crime story, I would say. Hard-boiled detective story, as you said. And then obviously, you can see it on screen. The art style is just so unique. It's very special. How did that happen? I mean, obviously these are photos of actual animals and people, and then you just Photoshop that together somehow, or how does that work?
I think creating this art style was definitely the most important part of the early stage of development. The first idea was to make a pretty typical side-scroller pixel art adventure. Then I experimented with some drone versions as well, but it never worked as I wanted to be. Then one day I just got a picture of a chicken head and placed it in a detective stock photo, and it was magic. It was pretty amateur, but worked. So the style was there in the beginning. We just needed to make it professional. For this, we needed to make our own photos of humans and animal models. So we arranged photo shoots in studios and even in wildlife parks and zoos. So it was probably the most unique and exciting part of the development process to cast animals in roles, then find them in zoos, make photos of them, and then put silly clothes on ourselves to make the bodies. So so it was a little weird, but for this game it just worked like magic.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, it really does. It's in some weird way it makes it feel real. You know,
Yeah.
because they look very real. They, you know, obviously in my mind I understand that these are, you know, not actual beings because obviously human bodies, animal heads, that doesn't exist, but
Yeah.
it looks so real and that makes it feel real, and that also makes the story feel immersive. I feel like it's
Yeah. Exactly.
yeah, it oddly works.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think this contrast between the absurd animal aesthetic of the game and also
Yeah.
this very real photorealistic thing is just where the game shines.
Yeah, yeah. And that combined with a very realistic story as well. There's no real element of fantasy except for obviously the world itself that is unreal, but
Yeah.
this story could have taken place in our world a couple of decades ago easily.
Yeah.
Or rather
Yeah.
in an alternative world of
Yeah.
ours.
Yeah.
Because after
Yeah.
all, yeah, humans are considered mythical creatures in
Yeah,
in
yeah.
Clawville.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a turnaround, yeah.
Yeah,
It's,
it's cool.
yeah. And then maybe a more technical thing, as we're looking at it right now, one of the main features I would say is the interrogation system, where you have to interrogate. Well, in this case, not a suspect really, but you know, there's different characters. They're all fully voiced. We just for the streaming purposes, we turned down the volume of the voices a little bit so they don't talk over us. But all of them are professionally voice acted. How exactly did that come to be? How does the interrogation system work?
I think this interrogation system, the questioning as we call it, is definitely my favorite part of the game. Here you can choose several styles and forms of asking questions from the suspect, and every question has an impression tied to it. So you need to listen to them and play his or her own characteristics against them. Basically, you have a focus on one of the impressions, and you need to follow that focus till the point where this focus suddenly changes, and you need to change your style too. So it's a back and forth game, like in the real interrogations in the real world.
Yeah. Yeah.
It sounds way more complicated as I described. So it's basically a pretty complex but yet pretty easily understandable system for the player.
The game does take you by the hand a little bit and tell you, okay, hey, this character is, you know, a bit shy, so let's be careful, you know, don't be too in the face with them.
Each character's traits or behavior does come to show in the interrogations.
For sure.
Yeah.
And you know, depending on who you're talking to, you have to adapt, and you know,
Exactly.
some of the bad guys you have to, you know, roughen up a little bit maybe, and others you don't want to, you know, rub the wrong way necessarily. So yeah, it's a super interesting feature. I feel like it's very unique, and depending on what you do, you get different outcomes as well, right? You get different answers and
Yeah. I always think of this gameplay element as boss fights, as like boss fights in other games. So these are very super important parts of the narrative, the storyline. So where you could interrogate a suspect, you have to very carefully choose every question you make. So
yeah.
And Andrew tried to make a simple UI and interaction for even for the other ones and for kids to easily grasp what they see. So there's no mysterious ways of playing this. pretty simple.
Yeah. I
We
think-
had grandmas playing it, so
Yeah. No, I think it works well as well because you have after every question you have this detective bar that goes up or down depending on whether you chose a good or a bad question. So the feedback is there, and I think people will understand quickly what they're
Yeah.
doing right or wrong depending on what they're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. Another thing that's very unique is the soundtrack, of course. What happened there? Who's making the music? And an original soundtrack, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It's 100% the original soundtrack. Our sound and music guy made the whole soundtrack himself, and he and I are super big fans of Green Fandango, and I think that was the main inspiration, music-wise, and also obviously the 40s film noir movies. As for the whole game itself.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's
the soundtrack is amazing. Yeah.
really. I've many days that I left the office and had a Natasha song stuck in my
Yeah.
head.
Oh,
It's
It is.
at least twice a week.
Yeah, it is really good.
Sometimes I
It is
just
really
wake up
good,
and
for
have it
sure,
stuck in my head.
For sure.
It's just a great song.
Yeah.
my daughter used to sing it all the time.
Yeah.
now we are hated, but that's game development. So yeah, I think the whole team think that the sound design and the voice acting and the music is super important for an atmospheric game like Chicken Police. So where you have to immerse yourself in the world pretty quickly and strongly, and dive deep into this imaginary world. It's super important to have a great soundtrack.
Yeah. Similarly important, I think, is the voice acting. Actually, we've already touched on that a little bit earlier. It really brings the game to life so much more
Absolutely.
than when you just would have to read everything. It's very well done, very diverse. All the characters are very distinguishable.
Yeah.
Did you guys? Were you there live when they recorded the voices?
Sadly not live, but I'm there via Skype all the time. So it was a 3-week process, pretty big process with 8 hours a day. So it was rough, but it was one of the most exciting and fun time of my entire life because these great actors who played super big games, AAA games also, just played our characters we made. So it's an unbelievable feeling.
Yeah, I can imagine. It's a very unique thing as well. There's nothing like it, I think. Yeah, it makes a big difference, I think. You know, obviously the story is still there if you just read everything, but having this feeling of actual people, you know, talking to you or talking to each other in this case, that really puts it on another level.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and also it gives much to this this movie-like
Yeah.
feeling
Yeah, yes.
we aim for with the whole experience. So.
Definitely.
Yeah. That way, it's much more than just a visual novel. It's a story that you experience.
Yeah, really.
More like a movie, yeah.
Yeah. Really. Also, all these small animations that are going on. You know, it's not just the talking animation, but they're actually, you know, moving back and forth a little bit. It just gives them life. You know, that works very well. During the whole development process, I mean, you said it before. It's been in development for a very long time, or at least, you know, in planning as well. You know, you've planned it for a very long time. What was the most difficult part of the game to get right, code-wise or design-wise or both?
Peter?
Actually, code-wise, it was we took a huge leap at one point of development, which gave us some headache, but we sorted it out. So we wrote our own system for inputting the localization and all the voice acting, handling the voice files. But it turned out well. So that was, I guess, for my part, it was the hardest thing to get to bank in time, because we were short on time. At the time the voice recordings began, we had to provide a system for bank. So it
Yeah.
was pretty rough to get it done, but we are done. So
Yeah, but I think overall, if we saw the whole development, it was pretty smooth. We started as three members, and in the end, we are now 10 or 11, I think. So as the game grows, the team grows with it. So if we needed more human resource, we just get it, and the team is shaped as the game shaped.
Yeah.
So
That's awesome. That's awesome.
actually, we had some pre visualization stuff there. So we had the first scene already for the artists to set a standard on what we thought that how it should look in the first place and how things should work art-wise. And we quickly set up a workflow that worked for everyone, and we optimized that down the road, but we kept it all the way. So it's a smooth process for everyone. I guess for a background, it was like 6 or 7 passes until it gets in the game, and all the members had to do their part on them and hand it over to the next guy. So it's pretty complicated, but in the end it worked very well. So
yeah.
I mean, the finished product is stunning, as I said. Talking about the background and the art and everything, the game plays like for the most part, it plays like a 2D point-and-click adventure, right? But the scenes aren't really 2D. There's depth to them, and they're all at least photorealistic. I don't know that they're all actual photographs of actual things, but probably not, I would assume. But how does that work? Like, how do these scenes and the city come to life?
well, bank is the first step. His imagination, and he's gathering all the stuff that needs to be described, the things that are in the place, and after that the concept artist draws the thing. And I can hand this over to Bank because he knows much more about this process than me.
Yeah, we developed our own process for this, because first of all, we try to mash up just photos of real places for this, as we did for the characters, but it never worked really well. So at one point we just decided to make it full realistic 3D background. So everything you saw in the game is full 3D, and then we projected that to 2.5D. So you have some depth, but you couldn't you could not explore the scene fully as in a 3D FPS game or whatever. So we did this 2.5D approach for the whole thing, where first we created the full 3D version, and then projected to this version.
So the whole scenery in the background is actually not photographs, but it's 3D models.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
some sort of them, because it's rendered but projected onto a low poly geometry. So
That's amazing, though. It looks photoreal. If like it could be a photograph of actual places. So it turned out very well. I have to say.
yeah,
Yeah,
thank you.
yeah.
So awesome. Yeah. Congrats on that.
Well
yeah.
done.
Yeah. About maybe a little bit about the story. There's obviously the main. Obviously we don't want to spoil anything for the players, but there's obviously the main story of the game. But there's also a kind of a deep background story, but concerning Marty and Sonny, the chicken police. How did that come to be? Is there, there's more to the whole lore of the world than just the game itself. There's more.
Yeah,
happening.
I think it's because first of all, as I said earlier, I wanted to make a graphic novel about the chicken police. Then it formed to be a script for an animated short. Then I realized that this works best as a video game. But for about that time, I have plenty of background lore and world building already done for the game and for this world. So when we started to put together this game, I have lots of background infos for all the characters, all the places. So we try to put as much as we can into the game, as like codex entries and side informations you get aside from the main storyline. So one of the main goal when we created this world was to make it believable, aside from the humans with animal heads. But for the full world of the game, we wanted to make it living and believable. So, and for this, we had to do so much lore and background world building.
Yeah, the world building really shows, though. It's what what makes it feel real. What makes me suspend my disbelief, because as we said earlier, obviously everybody sees that these are not real beings, but
Or are they?
or are they? Maybe we just don't know about them. Yeah, that's true. No, but obviously they're not from this world anyway. But still, the way they talk, the way they all have a past life, and that really, brings it to the next level and makes it believable. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks. Great to hear that.
Yeah, no, for sure. Also, the amount of detail now that we see Monica and her glasses, actually, that's just one of the small details that's funny, obviously, but also just puts it on that next level.
Yeah, I think this is super important if you make a game where you want the player to immerse himself in your world you imagined. So these little details are the most important things, I think.
Yeah, definitely. And there's so many to be found, as you said, in the form of collectibles or just posters hanging around on the scenes, or all sorts of stuff. And also, now that we're coming up to it, there's a couple of mini games in there. More action oriented mini games. Was that part of the plan from the beginning, or did that just happen at some point? When did you decide that, hey, let's do that as well?
I think to make interesting and diverse mini games was highly important to us, because we have tons of dialogues, and sometimes we need to give room for the player to breathe a little. So to make something entirely else than the core gameplay, which is speaking and asking and interrogating. This is why we included so many kinds of mini games, from classic puzzles like opening a safe with a code to first-person shooting sections, for example. Or my favorite, the mini game where you need to help a lady pull up the zipper on her dress. So
Yeah, I remember that one. Yeah, so there's a bunch of different kinds of mini. So it's not all just shooting as we're about to do here at the shooting range. There's a whole, yeah. Again, no spoilers, but there's a whole different. Yeah, there's different sets of mini games that you have to,
But
to
they're
play
not
through.
they're not just tools for breaking the monotonity of the game, but also for making surprises. I'm not spoiling anything
Yeah.
here, but
yeah, and also they are narrative devices. So not just some strange islands in the gameplay ocean. You must complete this puzzle because if
yeah, they are blending in well, so
Yeah.
you wouldn't notice that. Oh wow, this is a mini game. It's just natural.
Yeah, and they're some of them are optional, I think, and like
Yeah.
this one, I think you don't have to
No.
play the
Yeah.
shooting range, right?
yeah, absolutely.
But others are mandatory to progress through the game. So yeah.
However, they could provide you with some nice achievements if you
Yes.
complete them well. So it's worth to check.
Not this time.
Yeah, generally, I would say, as we talked about the background lore as well, there's even whole scenes that aren't mandatory to progress through the story. There's whole scenes you could skip if you wanted to, but or you know if you just missed them the first time you played the game. But it's definitely worth going back and finding out more about what's going on in the background, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Chicken Pill is built as a fairly linear narrative adventure, but you have several opportunities in the game to go wherever you want. And these are the optional scenes you can entirely skip with new characters and new story arcs. But overall, the flow of the story is pretty straight from A to B.
Yeah.
And I think it was an important decision because we needed to decide which kind of game we want to make. A game with relatively open world and several short stories, like, for example, LA Noir, or a game with one big case, with one big story for the whole experience. And because the second one has more room for character development and world building, we went with this one, with that one.
Actually, we wanted to make a game that we would love to play. So that was our first goal. And I'm the type of guy that looks under each rock. So I like this way. So we are not just keeping a main storyline, but also some additional content where if you are the type, you can have an extra 5 hours of gameplay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm also one of those. I'm a completionist. I
Nice
have
to
to
meet you.
inspect everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
And some of these collectibles are hard to find too. So.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
they're worth it. They're worth it.
And the game is, I think, the full game is about exploring scenes and exploring the characters. And I think the characters are the most important things in this kind of game. That's why the voiceover is so important also. And they have carefully written backstories and personalities, and the player could and need to dig deep to understand them. And I think this is the one of the most crucial thing about Chicken Police, which parts it from the usual adventure games.
because I see him right now. Here's Bosco. We just talked about him earlier. Do you want to tell us about Bosco and how your own pets made it into the game?
Actually, Bosco is my dog, and we always wanted to bring our pets into the game. We had so many creative ideas because the development was like everyone had ideas, and we always heard out everyone's ideas. So that was one of it, and I thought, why not? I would like, and my kids love him in the game. So once they saw him first in the game, they were like, "Wow, that's Bosco!"
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah.
Yeah, we need to make chicken police too, just to all the pets of the team.
If you're making another one, can we bring our pets too?
Sure.
We have at least 2 kitties.
They'll make an addition.
It's awesome. It's awesome.
That would be cool.
Yeah. No, it's a really nice idea. I mean, obviously, of course, they deserve the attention.
Yeah. Is it just Bosco that is one of your pets, or is it another character in the game that's also a pet of you guys?
I'm not aware of anyone else bringing.
No, Bosco is the one from the team, but we have also a pet celebrity of some sort, because the cat who plays Natasha, our femme fatale character, is a pretty big Instagram celebrity cat in Hungary. So
Yeah, I saw her Instagram earlier.
Yeah, we just checked out her Instagram, and she's a beautiful cat.
she's gorgeous.
She's ridiculously cute.
Absolutely. So well deserved.
Yeah.
And I mean, she fits the character as well. The character of Natasha, who's obviously, I guess the characters at their core, how they behave, are more human than animal, obviously, in the game, because that makes them relatable. But the cat, the face, this beautiful cat just fits this character so well. It's awesome.
I also love that Miss Natasha is a Russian blue cat, and her accent kind of sounds a bit Russian.
Yeah.
And I love that detail as well.
Yeah, it was intentional.
Yeah.
I mean,
these are the pretty details that matters a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and it just works. It fits.
Yeah.
Everything. Yeah, it's awesome. Perfect. I like those two as well. Marty and Sonny, they're made for each other.
Yeah.
The way, that's also a big thing in storytelling, and it works super well, is character progression. The way they, at the beginning when you go and pick up Marty, they're really not friendly at this point anymore. They used to be, but at this point they're really more, I don't want to say enemies, but they're
very salty to each other.
Yeah, they've had their differences for sure in the past, and that shows. And then how they, how it goes to show that they still care for each other throughout the story, and that intensifies as the story progresses, is also something that really, just makes it a good story all in all.
And I think that was the most fun to write, the dialogues between these two, because they had this chemistry, and the two voice actors had this also, so it was super fun to make the voices too, and this is the most personal aspect of the game, I think, as they grow to be partners again, to be friends again, after all they went through. And I think that's the heart and soul of this story.
Yeah.
Actually,
something that I've been wanting to ask you is, you put yourself as an Easter egg in the game, the Wild Gentleman.
Oh,
So this picture here.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was actually the other way because the White Gentlemen as a group were already written in the game world.
Oh, okay.
Then we decided that this is a well-fitting name for the studio.
Yeah, it
So-
is. So
Yeah.
that picture there, is that you guys?
Sadly,
Unfortunately.
no.
Aww, that would have been a perfect opportunity. I've been meaning to ask that every time, but each time I forgot to ask. I've,
Yeah.
I've been meaning to know who's who.
Who's the owl?
No, actually,
Next time.
Actually, I think that photo is a pretty famous photo of real gangsters,
Oh,
of
is it?
real Australian gangsters. So that's also an Easter egg in itself.
Okay, and I'll need to look that up. I don't.
Also,
I don't-
MB Davis looks like he would be, no, Louis Armstrong? Is it?
Louis Armstrong,
He
yeah,
looks
Yeah.
like
yeah,
Louis Armstrong. Yeah,
Yeah.
for
yeah,
sure.
yeah.
I mean, except for the fact that he's a beaver, obviously. That,
Yeah.
the whole head part,
That's the problem.
but the style, the trumpet,
Yeah.
and everything. Great musician, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I've seen the map earlier. I wanted to ask about
Yeah.
the map. The city of Clawville, how it's set up. Is that based on any real place, even loosely, or is it just completely imagination?
Yeah, it's inspired by half part London, I think, and half part Chicago, because the it's a Cloville is a monarchy, so it's like a little bit like Great Britain, and
Yeah.
the city is built like London, but as for its architecture, it's more like Chicago and the classic noir era American cities like Chicago or Los Angeles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I've
definitely.
noticed that, yes.
It feels American in the way everything's set up. And
Yeah,
how
but the
everything
map
works.
layout reminded me a bit of more London-esque.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, also you have the Times River. That's
Yeah.
Yeah,
kind of a hint, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah. Oh, this is my favorite character, by the way. I mean, he's not really, he's not very talkative.
Yeah,
But the
yeah.
fly guy he's just so well designed.
He's amazing.
Yeah.
I think for our graphic artist and for our animator, this was the most challenging but also most fun
I can
to create
imagine.
this hobo
Yeah.
fly. Yeah,
Double neck guitar and everything. And it works so well. Obviously it's perfect, it's got 6 legs, obviously. And why, it just fits. It fits perfectly.
He's great.
The way he's sitting there, the fly guy. He's one of my favorites for sure. For sure.
Yeah, he's pretty fly for a fly guy.
He's pretty fly for sure, yeah.
yeah. Actually, if we ever gonna do a Chicken Police 2, we need more insects because
Yeah.
everybody loves the fly guy. So
Yeah, and there's a whole, if you play through the game and if you look around and try to find every bit of information and dialogue, there's a lot going on with the insects in the background.
Yeah.
They don't play a big role for the main plot,
Not
Yeah,
this
yeah.
one.
but not for this one, yeah. But there is a lot going on. That's definitely story material for sure.
yeah, absolutely. For the whole world building side of things, the insects have a pretty huge role in the society of Cloville.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. What was I going to ask? I had a question there in my mind earlier. Oh yeah, well, that's a different question. But Zip's tattoos, are they real?
So I think I played Zip.
Okay.
And
Oh,
also
really?
Sony and Marty and several other characters, and those are just fake tattoos.
Okay.
So, just made for Zip. Yeah.
That's okay. But they fit the character very well.
Yeah.
So that's awesome.
Is there a story behind his injury on his wrist?
Oh yeah. And if I said this earlier, but if we're gonna do a Chicken Police 2, Zip will have a huge, a way bigger role, and his past also. So
He is very interesting.
He's an interesting character. Yeah.
Yeah.
Also very well voiced, very fitting.
Yeah, I like what I like about him. He's shady, but also very honest
yeah,
about
absolutely.
it.
Yeah.
He's not making a secret out of it that he's shady and he's
Yeah.
shady stuff.
And it feels like
Yeah, but he has a big heart also.
Yeah.
So
that's what I was gonna say. Even though he's obviously at least part-time criminal, he doesn't feel like a bad guy, right?
No.
He feels actually like a nice guy. He would be a good friend. I feel like
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely.
another interesting character. Yeah. The subtitle "Chicken Police Painted Red." Without any spoilers, could you tell us where that subtitle came from?
Cool.
If not, that's okay. Then the people will just have to find out for
It's
themselves.
really hard without spoilers, but one thing I could say that the color red will have a pretty important role throughout the game. So let's leave it that.
Okay, fair. Yeah, we don't want to spoil anything. Of course. Yeah. Those cutscene images of the those bird's eye view shots of the city, are those real video recordings, or is that also 3D design and then animated?
No, those are real. Those
Okay.
are actually real video footages. Yeah,
And then
yeah.
obviously edited so they fit the style of the game.
Yeah.
That's cool.
That makes sense. It works. It works very well. I think we're on our way to the Tsar Club right now.
And there we see the first splash of color and red.
Oh yeah,
Mhm.
and it is red. Of course
Yeah.
it is. Yeah, well designed. So. The Tsar Club also, a hint to Natasha's past
Yeah.
and her, heritage.
Yeah.
Awesome scene as well. The whole Tsar Club is a very interesting scene as well. The design of it and how it works.
Yeah, I think that was the first scene we fully did because we had the Sonny's office earlier, but as a working scene with all the side locations, it was the circle the first.
Yeah. It's I really want to show Natasha and her song. So I think we'll get to that in a bit.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
not long to go.
He's also a great character,
Yeah.
our bouncer. I forget his name, but
Archibald.
Archibald.
Yeah. Archibald. He's also a great guy, great character.
Yeah.
Well played, well voice acted too.
Yeah.
Yeah. These whole story bits. Again, for the stream, we've just got them running in the background, but definitely recommend playing with the sound on and the voice acting. Definitely recommend playing the scenes and let them play out. Not, don't skip the voice acting for the most part. I think that's a good tip. Yeah, and this is I think this is also one of the first scenes that I saw of the game. I think one of the very first builds that you sent us actually ended after the Tsar Club, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That was. Sorry.
visually and technically, it was the most challenging part of the
Okay.
game. So we went straight ahead with that because if we could beat that, then the rest of the game should be easy peasy.
In
That's
theory.
what we code at the moment.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. No, it's, it is one of the biggest scenes as well, I think. one of the biggest areas.
Yeah.
And
Most
with a lot
crowded.
going on, many
Yeah.
characters,
A lot of impressions.
a lot of impression, a lot of dialogue as well. That's that is one of Marty's funny traits that I really like. Is that I don't know if he deliberately misremembers Lewis's
He
name.
probably does. He just
Yeah,
enjoys being a douchebag.
yeah, I think he's being a little bit cheeky there.
Yeah.
But that's really funny too.
Yeah.
That's really funny. Yeah, awesome. Yeah, let's maybe speed it up a bit at this point.
Okay.
The gameplay, so we can. I mean, I really want to show the cat and her song because it's just awesome, and I think that would be a good send off for this final pre-release stream. Just to talk to Chet here for a second. Obviously, Chet's been active too. We've gotten a couple of questions. Is this game releasing on mobile too? Well, for now, no. It's gonna be out on PC, PlayStation, Xbox on November 5th, and then it's coming to Nintendo Switch very soon. We don't have an exact date yet, but it's not gonna be long. And yeah, so it's not gonna be on mobile, but you never know. You never know, you know. Obviously, we always try to make all the games accessible to as many people as possible. Yeah, but that's all I can say at this point. Of course, there's, you know, you never know. And I mean, you know, obviously would be. There's the big baddie, or is he? Ibn. Let's talk to him real quick.
We're gonna have to interrogate him first.
Yeah, that's the second interrogation of the game, I think, if I'm not mistaken. And yeah, I mean, he's the first real suspect that you meet during the game, right? Obviously, Deborah in the beginning, she's just here to, you know, introduce you to your new
To your case.
to your new case. She's not really a suspect. She's not a bad person, obviously. Ibn, on the other hand, you know, he's got some shady business going on.
And
also,
he's not making a secret out of it too.
no, he's not.
Yeah.
He's not. That's true. That's true. He's not. Not really.
Everyone knows he's a
Not
gangster.
really. Not really. Yeah, I mean.
Yeah, he also likes like a celebrity gangster of some
Yeah,
sort.
yeah.
Because
Yeah.
everyone knows him, everyone knows what he does
Yeah,
for real. So yeah,
for sure. And also one of the ones that I think his East Coast style gangster slang or accent even is also very fitting to the character. It's just very well casted voice acting there.
yeah, the casting was phenomenal. The OM Studio did a super great work with this.
How did that work actually? Were you part of the like? How do I say that? Were you mainly casting the voice actors, or did the recording studio do that and then present you with, hey, these are the people we have?
Yeah, that was the way that we get. I think 8 or 10 samples for each characters, and we chose from that 8 or 10 samples the right one that we thought that the best for the character. Yeah. But all of them was awesome. So it was super hard to just pick one to be the actual character.
I can imagine. Yeah, I can imagine. You have to really. Well, you have to really know your characters to decide that. Okay, I'm gonna be quiet real quick because we're gonna hear Natasha now for a little bit. I'm just not gonna say anything for a minute or so.
Bourbon moon hangs in the sky. Sonny.
Well, obviously, Sonny is stunned,
Infatuated.
infatuated, understandably so. And yeah.
I wouldn't be able to resist either. Look at her.
Yeah, she's amazing.
She's a beauty.
And she's one of the most important characters in the whole story, actually, right?
Yeah. Yeah,
I mean, it's her
absolutely.
case, after all.
Yeah. Absolutely. She's the femme fatale, as you said earlier, and that's absolutely true. And I think with that, we're gonna send everybody in the weekend. As I said, we don't want to spoil too much.
Yeah.
The game's coming out real soon, and you can find out yourselves exactly what's going on in Clawville.
And you should
And you should. You should.
do it.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, and play the demo because that's this part of the game, and you have to
Yeah.
get through. Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. Is there anything else you'd like to say to the audience out there, to the people?
Play the demo.
That's
Definitely the most
good enough,
important
yeah.
And
thing
wishlist
for
the
us.
game
wishlist the game
to make
yes.
sure you don't miss
Yeah,
it when it
absolutely.
launches.
Yeah.
Wishlist on Steam. It's going to be out real soon, November 5th. That is less than a week.
Just 1 week
than a
left.
Can we post the link to it? Is it linked here?
It's not linked right now, but
Oh, okay.
we'll post the link on social media and everywhere,
Alright.
and obviously
Okay.
Steam Chicken Police. It's on there. You can play the demo, and even the demo is worth it. It gives you a good feel, I think, of how the game works and what it, what's gonna
Gives you a good idea
wait
how,
for
what
you.
you can expect.
Exactly.
Yeah. And I think this is the kind of game that you get the feeling just if you play it, because
Yeah.
nor the trailers nor anything else give you the atmosphere
Yeah.
Yeah.
that is the game.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
true.
it's one of those games that you just have to experience.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just
yeah,
by
and
watching streams, it's not the same.
yeah. Because it's narrative heavy, story heavy game, so
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
And also because the voices, the voice acting is so superb that
Yeah.
you have to hear it yourself.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Awesome. Keep your distance, Sonny. Keep your distance. He already knows that, he's mysterious.
Mysterious.
Dangerous.
That's just,
Yeah.
possibly dangerous. Who knows? Who knows? You'll have to find out. Okay. We'll see you again, you people out there, on Thursday when we're gonna, have another stream for the release for sure.
I'm excited.
What exactly we're gonna do, we'll have to see. Because again, even on the release day, this is one of the games where it's difficult to stream in a way because we really don't want to spoil the story, obviously.
But we also don't want to show you each and every time the same thing again.
Exactly. You don't want to show the same thing
difficult.
over and over again, but also it is very important that you don't spoil anything.
Exactly.
Yeah, because the game lives off of the story. There's, other games out there, obviously, that you can play over and over again, and that are not as story heavy. Whereas in this case, the story is really what carries the experience.
Yeah.
And, it's the most important thing. So, and all the plot twists that are awaiting, and the game is getting dark. That's make no mistake. It is. It's cute and all for now, but it is getting dark. It is a film noir-esque story. So make no mistake.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be great though, and I'm very certain that everybody's gonna like it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Really hope so.
Yeah. I'm almost sure. I cannot imagine anybody not liking this game. So
I fell in love with the game the first time I've played it. So
yeah, absolutely. I mean, of course, this being the internet, you'll always find someone who's got something against it. That's always gonna happen. Of course, of course.
But I think overall,
Yeah.
the story heavy games are coming back, which is super awesome. But we need even more narrative games where You could immerse yourself in the
Yeah.
game and the characters
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Especially nowadays, where our own world is full of doubt and
Mm-hmm.
uncertainty. Sometimes you just need another reality, a great story with great characters and atmosphere, a feeling of a different world. You could dive deep and forget all of this shit out there. So I think Chicken Police is one of these games for sure.
Absolutely.
So
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. All right.
Relate. Yeah.
Thank you guys for your time. Thank you
Thanks.
everybody out there for joining us for the stream.
Thanks.
It's been a blast.
Phenomenal.
Yeah,
it's great to yeah.
absolutely. And we'll see you next week when Chicken Police Painted Red is coming to PC, Xbox, and PlayStation. And
Wishlist it and go get it when it's launched.
Yeah, which is going to be on Thursday. All right, we'll see you then. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Take care. Bye.